You know, you guys have about 1,000 sleeve brothers and sisters who've been through this program. Did you know that? And in the 4.5 years that I've been here, I've never had to take anyone back to the OR for surgery. How about that? All right. Now don't be changing that on Monday, y'all, okay? Like, so the first thing I want to tell you is this. Don't reinvent the wheel. Does that make sense?
Yes.
The formula is already done for you. You just need to plug and play. You just need to come to group. You just need to talk to him who's lost 65 pounds prior to surgery. Or all of y'all, you know? Or Amanda or anybody, right? Don't reinvent the wheel. Hey, what did you bring to the hospital? How did you feel? Who has little baby kids? What did you do with your baby? Oh, got a babysitter, etc. Was your husband helpful? No, my husband was a jerk. He didn't do anything. He told me he would, but he didn't. That's why we're divorced, I guess. Ho ho. Right? Like, you'd be surprised at the stuff you can learn. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Just plug and play. And don't think. I need this to be very important for y'all. Don't think. You're gonna screw it up if you try to outthink me or think of a better way or a faster way, right?
Right.
During the 1,200 calorie week, just follow what they told you to do. That's it, right? The video on the food calendar, just follow your food calendar.
It's easy.
It's easy. Just listen to the baby, watch the videos, read the book. If you start trying to think, let me just have a taste of this. I know it's only been like 3 days, but I'm just really, I need something to chew on. I'll just spit it out. Like, you probably won't spit it out if I had it. You know what I mean?
It'll be a lot more.
I've never done it.
Spit it out
So-
backwards.
And the reason why this is hard is because we've been taught our entire lives, I think, therefore, what?
I am.
I'm going to tell you right now, that's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
This is what gets you into trouble. I think, therefore I am. This is what causes wars, stabbings, muggings. You don't need to think. We cause more problems trying to think. And the reason why, and I've done a talk on this, so I'll give you a short version. Basically, every time you think through a situation, are there facts that you don't know?
Yeah.
Yes.
There will always be facts that you don't know. Are they discovering new things every single day?
Yes.
They're finding out new stuff all the time. At one point in history, everybody thought the world was flat. Everybody thought Christopher Columbus was going to fall off the world. Make sense?
Yeah.
And then one day suddenly it was like, oh, Earth is round. There are people who still don't believe the Earth is round.
Right.
You cannot have a discussion with those people.
Right.
You will not convince them because they are so rooted in the fact that I think, therefore I am. And if I don't think, then who am I? And that's a much tougher question, right? That's actually the process you're going through right now. Is trying to figure out, who am I? I got the skinny Asian telling me not to think, but that's what makes me me. My opinions, my thoughts, my beliefs. And I'm going, that's what got you into trouble.
Actions are thoughts.
That's what got you obese. That's what got you divorced. That's what got you excommunicated. Right? So, all sorts of stuff. So, don't reinvent the wheel. Just follow what we have set out for you. And pick and choose what's going to work for you. You know, some people don't like shellfish. I don't know why she won't eat shrimp. She just won't. That's fine. But there are lots of things you got to try. Okay? So don't reinvent the wheel. Number 2. This one's really important. I'm going to start by this one. Find a mentor. True? Now listen. You think, I don't need a mentor. I got it. I'll figure it out. Well, That's one way to do it. But it might take your whole life before you figure it out. But if you could have figured it out back when you were 20, why wouldn't you? Now you go on to something else. But our ego says, no, I'll do it myself. That's what stupid people do. That's what poor, broke, angry, miserable people try to do. Figure it out by themselves. So, the thing you got to do is this. Everybody has one. Let me rephrase this. Every successful person, I promise you, successful person has many mentors, not just one. I've got 4 or 5 that I would call mentors, and I've been spending this last year trying to accumulate more, trying to accumulate more and more mentors. That makes sense?
Yeah. Because
they know something I don't know. So one of my mentors is Greg Reed. Some of you guys have seen me share his posts and stuff like that. Anyone know Think and Grow Rich? The book Think and Grow Rich? Napoleon Hill. You heard of Napoleon? Raise your hand if you heard of Napoleon Hill. That's the first book that started the self-help stuff. Think and Grow Rich. So the Napoleon Hill Foundation tagged Greg Reed as the next Napoleon Hill to carry on the tradition of Napoleon Hill Foundation. He's one of my mentors. I talked to him about 3 years ago. I was having this problem, and I was messaging him on Facebook back when it was new, and he wrote to me. He says, "What's your phone number?" And I gave him my phone number, and at that exact second, my cell phone rings. I don't know about you, but I don't answer phone numbers I don't recognize. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this said California. It was ringing, and I was like, hit decline. But then I thought, I think Greg is in California. So I answered it, and I said, hello? And this guy on the other line is in the middle of a sentence. Hey, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, who is this? He goes, this is Greg Reed. You just, called me. You just told me to call you. Well, anyway, what do you do? Blah, 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 blah. Like, okay, bye. It was crazy. And then when we started talking, and he said to me, Doc, and I wrote this down on a little sticky. It's still up next to my desk. He goes, if I had your credentials, I'd make $10 million a year. Now, I make a good living, but I don't make $10 million a year. No doctor does that. And so, one, that pissed me off. So write this down. The truth always pisses you off. First, before it changes you. I'm like, what? This guy doesn't have an MD, he didn't go to residency, and he's sitting there telling me he'd make 10 million if he had my degrees. So that pissed me off. And then, the next thing happened was this. When I thought about it, I asked myself this question, write this down. What does he know that I don't know? You don't know what you don't know, true?
True.
Clearly, if he said it so definitively, he knows something I don't know. I don't know the answer, how to get, I can't work any harder. I can't do any more surgeries. I'm already the busiest guy in New Mexico. But he's saying there's something different. Now, there's a reason why I'm telling you this. Now, raise your hand if I've ever looked at you and you said your goal weight was like 160, 170. I said, nah, fuck that shit, dude. You're like 130. And you got mad at me. You're like, no, that's not fun. Raise your hand, right?
Well, I didn't get mad.
I did.
What you should say is, what does he know that I don't know? Why does he think I can be 130? Or I should be 180 linebacker, strong muscles, whatever. Right? Why is he pushing me? Because on the internet, I got women that are 5'2", happy at 200 pounds. And I said, shit, you're still fat. You still weigh more than a football player. That's not okay. Oh, but I've already lost 100 pounds or 150 pounds. Good for you. Keep going. You're not done yet. Does that make sense?
That's right.
Because if you extrapolate that to something else, You all have people in your life right now that say, I make $50,000 a year, I'm good. I don't need more money. And they're the first ones who ask you for gas money. Or can you help out with Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Or can you pitch in? I got news for you. Dr. Vong doesn't pitch in. Dr. Vong just picks up the tab. I couldn't always, but shit, now I can. Does that make sense? And that's laudable. That's praiseworthy to get to that point in your life where you say, don't worry about it. We're not splitting the check. It's on me. You know, I don't want to be 160. I'm not happy at 145. I'm only 5'2". I should be 120. Right? And if Dr. Vaughn believes in me, then what does he know that I don't know? Now imagine this. You have this goal out here. Everyone hold out your hand. This is your goal. Goal box. Now put something in that goal box. It can be weight. It could be like 150 pounds, or it can be money. It could be retirement. It could be anything you want. It's out there. You got it? It's way out there in the future. So for me, I'm going to say 10 million bucks because I told you the story, right? 10 million bucks is out there. And I'm thinking maybe it's like 20 years away. Whatever. So give it a timeline, right? So here's your question. All you got to do is say, how do I get that goal here faster? Because eventually you'll get there. If you do it long enough, if you live long enough, if I live long enough, I'll get there. If I work another 30 years, I'll get my 10 million. But why the fuck do I want to wait to 10 million? I'll be too old to spend it. So my goal now is to shorten the time. That's number 3. Shorten the time. Does that make sense? Why do I need to wait 30 years for $10 million if I could have it next year?
6 months.
In 6 months. If I could sell a book that became a bestseller. So now you start saying, my question is not how do I get to my goal, because I've already decided I'm going to get to my goal, right?
It's when.
It's how can I shorten the time? Now some of y'all are going to leave here and be like, dude, that was a waste of an hour of my life. Now some of y'all, you heard me, and you're gonna go like, that's some deep ass shit. Because when you ask, how do I shorten the time? You quickly stop hanging out with takers. You stop wasting time on Game of Thrones. You stop wasting, just energy on people and activities that don't shorten this distance to your goal. Because you'll get there. The question is, why can't you get there faster? Okay? And the fastest way to shorten this time is to find a mentor. So what did you do to lose 70 pounds prior to surgery? How have you lost 150 pounds? Like, what mistakes did you make? Because I don't want to make them.
Exactly.
I mean, spend a day talking to someone who had weight loss surgery and regained all their weight. Say, what did you do to regain the weight? Because I don't want to do that. Would that save you some time? Does that make sense? If you don't have to waste 6 months trying to lose 30 pounds of weight regain, did you just save yourself 6 months? You shorten that time to your goal. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. Make that your objective this week. Y'all have a good talk?
Yeah.
Awesome. Go be awesome this week, guys. Go dream big.